Hey guys, before we get started, I wanted to tell you about a free resource on the Scrivener Solutions website. We all know that consistency builds trust, but somehow getting on that consistency train can be hard. Finding the time, thinking of what to say. Oh my goodness, believe me, I feel your pain. I get it. I know all too well the struggle. Sometimes we make things way too complicated for ourselves. You don't need a complicated plan to become consistent with your content marketing. Working that consistency muscle by using a super simple content plan will give you a big win, and you can build upon that. We have a free resource to help you. Go over to scrivenersolutions.com/checklist and download the super simple strategy to jumpstart consistent content creation checklist. Yes, it's a long name, but all you have to remember is scrivenersolutions.com/checklist, and you can get that instant download. Get started on the right foot and make the commitment to consistency. Other things will follow, but consistency really does matter. Start super simple and download the checklist at scrivenersolutions.com/checklist. All right, now onto the show. Hi, I'm Gayla Scrivener, ex-corporate girl and now work-from-anywhere adventure seeker. Creating a work-from-anywhere lifestyle isn't without its challenges, but those challenges certainly don't overshadow all the many benefits. What breaks my heart is seeing folks stuck and unhappy in a career and lifestyle when they want more out of life. I believe that we all have the opportunity to create the life of our dreams and earn a living in fun and creative ways to make our dream lifestyle a reality. You too can experience wonderful adventure and freedom as you live life on your own terms. In this weekly podcast, I share experiences when it comes to growing a lifestyle business through guest interviews, content marketing experience and perspectives, virtual leadership lessons, and I'll even throw in some travel adventures. My hope is through all the interviews, the tips, advice, and personal experience, you'll be inspired and motivated to keep going and creating your dream lifestyle. Life's an adventure. There's no time but the present to live life to the fullest. Hi there, and welcome to the show. I love these interview shows because I love to learn about other people just like you and me who are making their lifestyle business work. We have the chance to learn about their journey and what they do that jazzes them to keep building their own lifestyle business. Today, you're in for a special treat because you'll be meeting Lora Newman. Lora is the founder and CEO of 0 to 60 Performance Coaching, the world's premier equine assisted leadership coaching and training organization. She's referred to as Tony Robbins with horses. Lora and her team combine knowledge and expertise in business training, mental health, animal behavior, and business coaching to provide dynamic programs for both individuals and corporate teams that are designed to deliver rapid results. Lora partners with horses, tapping into their wisdom and honest feedback to show leaders where they need to strengthen strategy and communication dynamics for greater results. Her work helps her clients break through barriers, increase thinking performance, and confidently make decisions that pull them forward, resulting in leading teams with ease, increased revenue, and freedom. Lora is a U.S. Army veteran, licensed professional counselor, and equestrian. Lora took the leadership lessons from the military and the horses to couple them with the psychology she learned as a coach and counselor to develop a holistic leadership framework that brings entrepreneurs into alignment with body, mind, and spirit. When not coaching, you'll find Lora riding her favorite cow horse down the trail of the beautiful Ozarks of Missouri. I learned so much in our conversation, and I just know that you're going to enjoy it too. She's created her lifestyle to include the love and respect she has for horses and helping leaders break barriers that's holding them back in life and business. So let's go right over to the interview, shall we? Welcome, Lora. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Gayla. Thanks for having me. This is a pleasure.
I've been so excited about today and this recording. In the intro, we learned that you're an equine assistant business coach. Now, being a U.S. Army veteran, getting degrees in counseling, psychology, as well as veterinary technology, and running a vet hospital for 4 years, what made you transition in creating your own coaching business?
Well, Gayla, that really is a journey question. And I wish, I could just say, one day I woke up and had a stroke of brilliance, but that is not the case. I have always had a passion for animals. The joke in the family is I have the St. Francis gene. I'm always rescuing or, helping some animal. So that, after the Army, I took that degree in veterinary technology and ran a veterinary hospital, got the opportunity to work with racehorses a little down in Southwest Louisiana. It just kind of figured out I was a single mom. I just couldn't make ends meet easily. So I transitioned into sales. I actually got recruited into Mary Kay and became a sales director in a couple of years, had the car. And what I learned, as I look back, I was learning that I was really good at sales because I kept the veterinary practice overloaded all the time with business and I was out selling without trying. So from there, I got recruited into being the sales manager of a couple of radio stations in Austin, Texas. I was actually Round Rock. And from there, I got recruited into being the sales and marketing director for a chain of lube centers in Austin. And I'd always been recruited. And the thing though, the common denominator starting back in the beginning with my career in sales, I hired a coach. And now we're talking in the early 90s when coaching wasn't well known yet. People are like, what do you coach? Football? They didn't understand coaching like we do now. I got to a point in sales where I did wake up one day with that spark and said, you know what? I want to be the coach. I want to be the person helping people win, break through and win. So back to school. And I went to Coach U and graduated from their program. I had a professor urge me to go on and be a counselor. So I continued on and took that master's degree in counseling. And I started out as a life coach and counseling in the beginning. And it's funny how you come full circle, Gayla. I got back into horses. I've been with horses, most of my childhood, other people's horses. I had a horse in college. And my husband and I decided later in life to get horses. Well, I was learning so much about me with those horses and began wondering, how can I bring the two together? So I found an organization that trained mental health professionals, which by that time I was fully licensed, that trained us and equine professionals to work together to facilitate our clients to have breakthroughs and build strategies. And it's also used in psychotherapy. That was the journey that I went through. I shifted from so much life coaching and counseling, took more business coach training and really focused into business leadership, the psychology of money and business, and now offer performance EMDR along with the equine assisted coaching and psychotherapy to help business owners really break through the stress. And that I've come full circle because I've brought counseling and therapy components back in because the stress levels right now are so high. So there's your journey.
That's quite the journey. It's true though. A lot of us just don't wake up one day. It's like, oh, I'm going to do this. It is a journey. Your business name is 0 to 60 Performance. Is there a significance in that name?
Yes. When I remember where I was and who I was with when we came up with that, we were masterminding together out in Arizona. And, I'm looking at our goals are a straight line, and yet humans are brilliant at making it more like a pinball action. We get stuck in the back and forth and we never, it's like a canoe trip where you've gone from side to side down the river instead of straight down the river. It was just a realization that I work with clients to make that goal a straight line. And my colleagues said 0 to 60. Bing, there it was.
I love it. I love it. Now you have a love for horses, and there is the significance in the study of horse therapy. But why or how do horses really help us?
Well, my short answer is it works. Why horses? It works. But really, there is science behind it. And what we know now is that humans learn more effectively when we're moving and we're interacting, when it becomes a somatic experience. Sitting in the classroom with Charlie Brown's school teacher. Do you remember Charlie Brown, the school teacher? Wah, 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 wah. That didactic dynamic is less effective than getting up and actually experiencing what's happening. It also allows us to tap into a creative center in the brain, engage this frontal cortex while we're moving and thinking on your feet. And it opens a lot of flow for us because the body is incorporated into our moods and our thinking. Now, we also release oxytocin, which is a feel-good hormone, if you will. And, amazingly, I've read the studies on humans and dogs. Dogs also release this when we're petting them. Horses and humans experience a similar reaction. So a relaxed brain also learns more effectively. If we're stressed, we're not in a place where we can absorb and think. We laugh, and in my industry, we call it licking and chewing, because when horses are thinking, when you're training a horse, they'll stop. You let them lick and chew. That means it's sinking in what they just learned. And we just are able to lick and chew as humans more effectively when we're moving and getting. I feel like the more important thing is we're getting a response to our action. And then we're able to evaluate why we got that response. And that's what horses give us. Horses are brilliant at reading nonverbal communication. And what we don't realize as humans is that over 80% of our communication is nonverbal. And that nonverbal is quite often coming out of our subconscious mind, that area of our mind where we're just not aware. We may be having some body language or a facial expression that we're not aware of when we're working on something or talking about something. And what that means is there's some emotion and thoughts underneath that. Horses pick up on that and respond to it. So my team and I are trained to facilitate, what the horse just did in response to what you just did, or thought. Oftentimes, maybe no action happened, but a thought or an energetic change happened, and the horse responded to that.
Wow. All I'm thinking about right now is horses are a big animal. And if you've never been around a horse, that can be quite intimidating. It's like, okay, I'm going to be face to face with this large animal. You see them out in the pasture and they're smaller when you're driving by. But to be face to face with such a large animal, do you work with individuals who's never been around a horse before? And how do they get over maybe that intimidation that they may feel?
That's a really good question. And I get that a lot. And yes, we've had clients from all over the world come in. Some of them have never been around horses. No knowledge is needed. There's no riding. We do everything from the ground. And yes, some of our equine coaches are 1,200 pounds. That's a big animal. And we also have minis. We have miniature donkeys and miniature horses that we also use in our work. So if it's causing too much stress, to do the work, we can begin there so they can become accustomed to horse, equine behavior, equine movement. And then we graduate up, and they always graduate up to working with the larger horses. However, I've also noticed that if someone has some trepidation about getting into the pasture or the arena with a 1,200-pound animal, I find it a wonderful coaching opportunity, because how we are in one place is how we are in all places. So it becomes the opportunity to talk about, what is it that you do when you're hesitant or you're afraid? What do we do with that? Because you know what, Gayla, you and I are business owners. And every day we run into a situation or decision or something that causes a little hesitation or fear. And so in working through that, becoming acutely aware of what we do with that helps us apply that to every area of our lives. I don't know if you've seen the movie 21 Days with Sandra Bullock. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, there are a couple of scenes where they're doing equine assisted work. And she's just simply trying to get this horse to lift its hoof, and it's going, And so the guy that's helping her, the horse trainer, says, make your insides match your outsides. And in the final scene, she does it. And it is so true that you have to be in alignment and congruent to get the horses to cooperate with you. And that's internally and externally. So if they're afraid when they approach, it's just a wonderful opportunity to address that and get into total alignment with the work at hand.
Now, I imagine to receive the full effect of your coaching service, people need to come to your stables. What does working with you look like?
Yeah, we when we went into shelter in place last year, we figured out how to bring the horses online
Wow.
live. Yeah, and so we do some facilitation virtually with the horses, and it is effective. I will say though that you are correct. Live is more experiential and a lot more just rich in movement. But the best way I think to illustrate what that might be like is what comes to mind is a gentleman that came to us from Oregon, and he owned a company. He wanted greater communication, higher productivity in the office. And so we gathered together, the equine professional, myself, and the client in the arena. We set up some things that we wanted him to take the horses through as a leader, which meant he had to communicate to these horses and get them to cooperate with him. Now, he had never been around horses. We're talking about a type A, 50-ish, very athletic man. And so we made the request, and he took off with fervor toward that herd of horses in a direct line. Now, horses are prey animals, so they responded appropriately and began to run. Well, he's given me permission to tell the story because, we still laugh about it. He begins to run after them, and it appears to me and Tim that he is chasing the horses. Now, Tim and I both know that horses can run 35 miles an hour, and there's no way the human's going to catch them. And I'm holding my clipboard over my mouth because I get tickled at the whole scene. I mean, dust is flying, and it was just in my head, I'm seeing this NASCAR race. The horses would run by us, and here would come Jim. The horses would come by, and he would come. So finally, I had to stop, and the dust was getting pretty thick. And I said, Jim, what's going on out here? And Gayla, this was the shift. His response was, they won't do what I want them to. It opened the conversation, and he admitted that sometimes he feels like he is chasing his people in circles. The metaphor emerged. So he stood there and he thought about it a minute, and we asked him to, get a drink of water and just go when he was ready. He got it done quickly. And he came back and said, I have learned more about communication with these horses than I have in any classroom. He got it done quickly. And leadership is about co-creating coordinated movement. And I cannot think of a more brilliant being to show you how bad of a leader or how good of a leader you are than a horse.
Wow, that is an excellent example, and especially not being around big animals like that. How do you communicate?
He was working with 3 large horses that day.
Wow. Now you go all over the country. Do you take your horses with you, or do you go to other stables and work with folks?
We have a network where I can call ahead and make arrangements to have horses and a facility available to us. And we just come in and work with them and work with the clients there.
Nice. Now, you host on a monthly basis business development coaching sessions where you spotlight and contribute proceeds for that session to different local nonprofit organizations. Can you tell us a little bit about what those types of programs entail and how we can get on a list to be notified about them?
Coffee with Coach Lora is what we call it. And they're always on a Friday morning. And they really came about because we were trying to figure out how to get the business community connected with the horses and to understand the work that we were doing and how we could help them. So we came up with this idea that once a month we would offer an opportunity for business owners to come and experience that with various topics in the areas of psychology, around money and business. So every month we just pick a different local nonprofit to let the proceeds go to. We want to give back to the community. The public is invited. We typically share some content. This next one coming up Friday is around money clutter, and that's just what we call it. And, money clutter is something that happens if we start procrastinating, leave things undone, or it feels confusing. And that usually happens because right now, there may be a big influx of business that we weren't ready to handle. So we get some money clutter going that way. Or maybe business has bottomed out and it's all hands on deck trying to, stay in survival mode. A lot of stressors like divorce, business partners fighting, those kinds of things can cause what I call money clutter. So we'll share a little information about the causes and a little strategy on how to clear your money clutter. And then We always go out to do a session with the horses so that the horses can help them understand how they are communicating into the areas of money in the business.
Nice. Now you do retreats, you do individualized coaching. How do we work with you?
Sure. We offer group. We can work with a company that may have a team building that they want to do. So we've done team building retreats. However, typically we work with business owners, and in our 48-hour breakthrough, which is our flagship program, it's a 2-day intensive where business owners come and discover what's really holding them back and then build a strong strategy to take that leap forward. We have coaching groups where they get coaching and support in the realm of leadership and business. They can bring anything they want to those calls for coaching. We do individual sessions, mostly around stressors. I offer a lot of performance EMDR, and that is an individual session that helps business owners deal with those really stressful situations. If they're going through a divorce, or maybe one of the business owners or the business owner died suddenly, there's the wife standing or husband standing there trying to figure it all out. That's really stressful. So this is where performance EMDR can come in and help them deal with various dynamics in business, like money conversations that are uncomfortable, or having to hire and fire, and that's highly uncomfortable. We help them get, process through that and get authentic and congruent with the decisions that need to be made.
Can you speak to a little bit? We may not all be in the Rogersville, Springfield, Missouri area. Is there a specific program that you do offer? Because you did allude to that you've done some things over Zoom. Is there a specific program that you currently offer for remote individuals?
Yes, we offer a free webinar every month. Also in the areas of business development, the psychology of money and business for business owners. We have a webinar coming up around, that subconscious programming that we all have that finds its way into our business decisions, to influence or outright dictate the decisions that we're making. So we offer a free webinar every month to educate, bring awareness up for business owners. And then we bring actually Mustangs off the range in Colorado live on the camera and process through a session so they can have a little taste test, if you will, of what an equine assisted session might be like.
Nice. How does one get on the list to be informed about such sessions?
Oh, yes. 0to60coach.com, and the 2 is the number 2. So it's 0to60coach.com. And that is our website. And you can get on we call it the VIP list, and we'll keep you notified of live and virtual events that are going on.
Nice. Is there a particular resource or book that has made a significant impact for you professionally?
Oh my gosh, Gayla, that would be a library of books. I love to read. I'm a bookworm. Currently, one of the books that I have been recommending is What Happened to You by Oprah Winfrey and Dr. Perry. I think it really helps people understand some of the stressors, why some things trigger you and other things don't. It's just a really good book to raise your own self-awareness in your own behavior. Another book is The War of Art. It's an older book, but I love that book. And it's just a little snippet every day that you can read.
Yeah, that one is a good one. I've recently read that one, and I wouldn't have come across that unless somebody recommended it to me.
Yeah, some of the older books are getting lost. And the title, oh goodness, what is it? Amanda Blake just wrote, it's a fairly newer book. Oh, I can't remember the title of it. That's bad. But Amanda Blake, if you look up that author, she has a good book.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, I am delighted that you were here with us today. And I will have in the show notes your links to stay in contact with you, your website. And then on your website, I'm sure that we can follow you on all the socials.
Great. Thank you, Gayla.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Be sure to scroll down to the show notes for all the links to stay connected with Lora. And if you go to her website, 0to60.com, that's spelled out 0, the number 2, and then spelled out 60.com, you'll see the sign up for her VIP list to be notified of all her programs. It's just under her header image. I do hope you found this episode helpful. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the show. And if you're feeling extra generous, I'd love it if you'd submit a 5-star review. This way, we can get interviews like these more visible to others like you and me who are living our dreams and creating our own work from anywhere lifestyle. One last thing. Do you struggle in keeping consistent in creating and publishing your content? Now be honest, it could be a number of reasons why, but what I often find is that we entrepreneurs are notorious for biting off more than we can chew. We're off doing the next thing before we truly get started in a good implementation system. We have trouble getting that good system under our belts, and I get it. And don't worry, you're not alone. It's nothing to be ashamed of either. If you're struggling getting on that consistency train with your content marketing plan, how about you download my super simple strategy to jumpstart consistent content creation. It's a checklist, and it outlines a simple content publishing plan that will help you stay focused and lay the foundation of your content library in a consistent manner. A fantastic foundation that you'll be able to build on in the future. So go to scrivenersolutions.com/checklist and download your copy today. Well, I'm glad that you are here with me today, and until next time, have a fantastic week.